Hey everyone, this is a follow-up to last week's video where I built this awesome DMG custom Game Boy. After a little bit of playtesting, I noticed a slight issue in terms of the sound. There's a bit of a crackle and an uneven balance between the left and right channel when adjusting the volume, so I wanted to investigate that. A little bit of an advance warning. If you want to try a similar fix like this yourself, you might want to watch the whole video through because I found a few things out later on that might have saved me a bit of time, but you'll see, and you can make your own choices based on what you've watched me do. It's something I've not tried before, but it was an easy fix with a new thing that I bought, so have a look and I'll show you how you can fix it if you've got that issue on your Game Boy. So this is our new Game Boy that's all built, everything tested, everything working fine. However, there is a subtle fault that needs addressing. I'll show you what I mean. So if we switch on, you can tell that the sound is working because we can hear it through the speaker. When we start, everything sounds absolutely fine. Whether you are increasing or decreasing the volume, everything sounds okay. However, when I have headphones plugged in, it doesn't quite sound great. The issue that we're having is that there is a sort of a crackling sound as the volume is increased or decreased, and it fluctuates a bit between the left and the right channels. So I thought, is it an issue with the headphones output because the speaker sounds absolutely fine? So I got my cool little IKEA CRACKLING speaker. I've had a few comments about this recently, asking what it is, where it's from. So the range was from, it was from IKEA. The range was a collab with Teenage Engineering that was called CRACKLING a couple of years ago. So they don't sell them anymore. However, if you have a look on eBay, you might be able to get your hands on one. They do come up every now and then. Anyway, with the speaker on, now this might be a bit loud, so I'll just turn the volume down as we boot. There we go. So sound coming out from there. Now with the silent screen that we get, this is why I've chosen Super Mario Land 2, because the opening screen is silent. As I am decreasing the volume, there's no sound, no crackle, no nothing. However, when we move on to the actual sort of menu screen now, we get the sound coming through. That's coming through the speaker. And again, it sounds fine. There's no issue when I'm adjusting the volume. But the issue is that the speaker, in this case, is a mono speaker. And the issue, when I've got headphones on, is to do with it being the stereo sound. So now we've got stereo speakers connected, and I'll try switching on now. Again, the sound does work. Now the issue I've got here is I'm picking all this up with a mono microphone, so it's hard to get that stereo effect. However, there's a little bit of interference on the volume, and when I press start, as I go up and down on here, the left channel is fairly solid, but the right channel can kind of come and go. So that's all checked and tested, and the issue that we've got is with this bit here, the volume dial, the volume potentiometer. That is connected to both the left and the right channel. And if you are trying to listen to both of those channels separately, then you are going to get the issues in terms of the sound not being quite balanced. What we need to do is open this up, access this potentiometer, this volume dial from the inside, and give it a bit of a clean, and that is what we are going to do. Okay, so the component itself, although it's just about visible here, we're going to need to access it from the back. So we're going to need to remove this motherboard out from the rear shell. There's just two crosshead screws here. So I've got tape here holding certain wires in place. I might need to reapply that afterwards. But the motherboard will just lift out from here. The two battery connectors need to sort of slide out from the battery compartment, and then we should be able to get that out of the way. I think what I'll do is I will unscrew the headphone socket at the same time, just to remove it completely, mainly because of the contact cleaner that I'm going to be using. I haven't used it before. I'm not sure how much is going to come out, and I don't want to get any all over this rear shell. So that will lift off here. We'll just leave that tape in place and pop this out of the way. And now we can flip this over and see our potentiometer wheel. Alright, so this here, this dial, is the potentiometer. It's mostly covered with this plastic dial, but the component is underneath. So we need to get into the gap in between. First thing I'm going to do is give it a blast with some air to just get any rogue bits of dirt or dust out. Because if they're dried, they're more likely to just make their way out quite easily. If they're a bit more ground in, I've got some contact cleaner, which is our next step. I've got a USB powered rechargeable air dusting gun thing. It's kind of like a can of compressed air, but it's rechargeable and no aerosols. Right, with that done, our next step is this stuff. So I've just got this. It's WD-40 branded electrical contact cleaner. I would normally have just used alcohol on it, but seeing as I tend to be doing a lot of kind of cleaning and repairs on electrical stuff, I thought something that's specifically meant for that job is probably a good idea. So you can spray this either through the nozzle, or you fold up this bit and then it sprays through this attached tube. So I'm gonna do that now. I have never used it before, so probably not a good idea to just blast it straight on my Game Boy. Let's just see if I've got something I can spray it onto. I just want to judge roughly like how much comes out and how much control you get over this tip here. So I want just like a little bit blasting out. Oh, that's not too bad. That should be okay. And hopefully it should evaporate relatively quickly as well. So we'll line up just at the very side here and just give it a quick blast there. And then I'm going to repeatedly turn the dial one way, then the other, then one way, then the other. There are some little holes on top which I'm not sure if they allow us to see all the way through. Let's just grab my torch. Okay, so the two near the center are actually through holes on the dial, so I can actually spray a little bit in here as well. Even though there's quite a lot gone on there, it should largely evaporate after a little bit, and I can always mop up any excess. So what I sprayed onto the little kitchen roll earlier has completely evaporated. So even if you end up with it pooling on top like this, I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. I can dry off the excess with my kitchen roll here anyway, because I'm not bothered about what's on the plastic. It's more what's gone inside. So a bit more of a spin up and down. It's moving very freely. I had it on the higher volume when I started spraying before, so I'm going to turn it to the lower volume. Just give it one more little spray into the gap here, just a little tiny squirt. And then that will be it. I'm just going to keep turning it now until none of it is visible on any of these surfaces. Now, technically, if you're in a bit more of a rush, really, I mean, you could, if I just grab another Game Boy and show you, there's nothing stopping you just spraying it straight in here without taking anything apart. And it may well do the trick. If you look at actually how accessible the top and bottom are here, but then really when you get it out there, it's not very accessible from this side because it's all soldered on. And from this side, it's mainly the dial. So you may well get away with just spraying a little bit into these gaps here and then just mop it up. This stuff shouldn't cause any damage to plastic or anything like that, and everything has now fully evaporated. All the surfaces are dry, so I am just going to reassemble and give it a test. Push them on. So straight away I am adjusting the volume, and there's absolutely, there's that slight hum when it's at full volume. Sound coming out of the left. Sound coming out of the right. Volume smoothly up and down, no crackle at all. So that is working fine. Sound coming out from each speaker evenly. And really smooth volume adjustment, so all working. I'm going to try it with headphones, but obviously you won't be able to hear that, but I'll try it anyway and let you know how I get on. Okay, so I am listening through my headphones now, and there is none of that interference, no crackling at all when I'm adjusting the volume dial. And the music is coming through consistently perfectly on left and right. That's fine. That's absolutely perfect. Okay, and that is it. Simple as that. This stuff is great on first impressions. I'm going to try it out on some stick drift fixes as well and see how that works in comparison to using the alcohol. I like the way it evaporated really quickly. The control over the spray was really good. I didn't get too much coming out, so I'm happy with that, and obviously the end result sounds fantastic. So if you've had any issues like this with the volume dials and that sort of electrical crackle as you're turning it up and down, or an uneven balance between left and right, that is definitely something you could try. Also, if I manage to find another Game Boy with the same issue, I'm going to try just blasting the stuff straight into the gap. I am pretty confident it would do the same job without the hassle of having to dismantle your Game Boy. So I think I'll put a little warning at the beginning and see if that appeals to anybody else. And that's it from me for now. All the stuff in this awesome Game Boy came from Z Labs. They sell so much awesome Game Boy modding stuff. If you want to buy stuff from them, please check out my affiliate link in the description. It'll get you a discount and it'll help support my channel as well. I'd really appreciate it if you did that. So that's just a quick look at one issue, but this build was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen the video of the build for this one, you might want to check it out. I've got it up there for you. If you haven't already seen it, you definitely want to take a look. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.